recording is started.
Yeah, okay. Now we can
Mm.
start.
Okay, please, you have the access. Do whatever you want. We will be hearing you. I will mute, so you will not have the echo.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you can start, please.
So your other team members are there with you on the same PC?
I have my team here in the same
Okay,
room. I have a big screen where we can show everybody here.
okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So
Anurag, we
I'm
can start
just
now.
going to share my screen. Just let me know, please, if you're able to see it. Danish, is it your AnyDesk is opened or what? Because I'm seeing infinite windows.
Yeah, but this is not from my side. Yeah, this is the my machine, and then you are accessing their machine via the AnyDesk.
Mm-hmm. You don't have TeamViewer directly on their system?
Let me ask, Mamun, you have TeamViewer on this machine?
Because you see, how is it looking?
Yeah.
Again, this loop will be during the meeting, you mean, or just for the slideshow?
No, no, no. This is actually because I'm giving him the access via TeamViewer from my PC. You have TeamViewer installed in the same machine which you gave me through AnyDesk, so he can directly access
So you prefer what to do? The meeting will
TeamViewer.
be from your device.
He- Yeah, no, meeting he wants to share the screen. So the screen becomes like this. 1 minute. 1 minute.
ولا فاهم عليك. Yeah.
It's okay, na? This time is fine, I think.
Check.
Wait. This is okay. Perfect.
Okay.
What do you
Okay,
minimize?
but we will record the AnyDesk. You mean Danesh, instead of
No, no,
recording?
no, no. He's recording already.
So
So
it's fine, Maman.
he will record our screen as we see it now.
Yeah, whatever you are seeing on the screen, that is getting recorded now via Teams. Okay,
Mhm.
no need to record from AnyDesk or TeamViewer. It is recording on Teams. So I'll share you the Teams link, to go through the recording later on.
Okay, I will just back here, so I will mute from my side. You can go ahead.
Sure. Okay, guys. So just yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Anurag, and I'm working here as a senior support engineer in Atom. So today's training session is basically going to involve Titan Live, which is our encoder, Titan Mux, and Pilot Manager, which is NMS. Okay, so we'll go through the operational part of it, how we configure the service, how we, modify the configurations on encoder, on Mux, how we add the inputs and create the outputs, how we configure the stat Mux on the Mux, and then on the Pilot Manager side, we'll just see how the monitoring is working, how we can see the alarms, how we can see the redundancy and change the redundancy from mean to backup and backup to main. So this is our agenda for today. So we'll start with Titan Live. Okay, so I'll just disconnect, log out from here. So yeah. So as you can see, this is Titan Live. It's a purely software-based solution. When we say software-based solution means we can deploy Titan Live software on any of the bare metal server, and we can even deploy it on cloud. We can even deploy it on private cloud like Kubernetes clusters. So for our case, it is right now deployed on the server, bare metal server. So after deploying it, we gave the management IP as 10.10.30.21. When you put this IP on browser, you will see this particular page as a login page. So as you can see in the login page, you are having three default users. One is monitoring user, operator, and administrator. So monitoring user basically is having rights to just monitor the services. He cannot do any modification. He cannot do any deletion of the service. He cannot create any service. So just monitoring the alarms, just monitoring the, what are the configuration on the services has been done. If we go to the operator user, so operator user obviously is going to have all the rights of the monitoring user along with the some additional rights like he can start and stop the service, he can edit few parameters in the service, but still he cannot delete the service. Okay, and then administrator, as we all know that administrator is going to have all the rights of anything. So these each user we can have different passwords. So for now I'm going to log in with administrator user. Okay, so when we log into the encoder, the first page which we'll see is this one, is with the thumbnail view. Okay, so in the thumbnail view, basically whatever the number of services we have configured on the encoder, we will see here. So these thumbnails which we are seeing right now, they are basically the output of the encoder. Okay, this monitoring is basically output monitoring all the services. So these are the radio services and these are the video services with the video output showing on thumbnail. So, and also we have here another view which is list view. So in the list view, you can have all the services configured in a list way. And if you will click on one of the service like this, so you will be able to see the configuration, basically what you have done in the service. So no need to go inside the service to see the configuration, but you can see in the list view what is the configuration of the service. For example, here we can see Palestine HD service is configured with the 6312 video pid with MPEG-4 HD resolution and this much bitrate. And similarly, we can see the audio configuration. What is the audio configured on this? We can also see what is the input is used for this particular service. So it's SDI board 1 input port number 1 and the output multicast we can see from here. And if you will click on one of the checkbox, you will be able to have the thumbnail of the service here, as well as the information of the input, then the output configuration, what is there in the service, and then the number of outputs you have configured, the multicast basically. Okay. So if there is any alarm on the service, you will be able to see here in the messages. Okay, so I'll go back again to thumbnail view. So now we are going to see if we need to create a new service from scratch, how we will do that. So there are two ways to do that. So first we'll go in the first way. So as you can see, there is an option here as new service. We'll just click on the new service. Okay, so this is a window came up and there are actually four tabs which are responsible to create a new service. What are these four tabs are basically input tab, tracks, muxer, and output. So these four tabs, when we configure, a new service is created. So we are going to start with the inputs. So we'll click on the define input. And these are the types of input which is supported on or by Titan Live. Okay, so IP, SDI, SDI 4K, RTMP input, ZigZee, 22-6, 2110, HLS input, and so on, right? So obviously, they are specific to their different licenses, but yeah. So here, for example, our use case is on SDI. So we'll select the SDI as an input type, and you can see here, you will see a board, SDI board, which is showing how many ports it has. So total one SDI board has 8 ports. So if the input is connected to the board, you will see a green dot in a circle. If the input is not connected, you won't see the green dot. You will just see a circle, black color circle. Here, if you have multiple SDI boards, you can just select. So let's say you want to see or you want to select second SDI board with the maybe second input of this. So you can just select from here. Okay. So also, if you want to see what is the resolution coming on each port, whether it is SD input or HD input, what you need to do, you just need to click on the particular interface, and on the left side you can see it is HD 1080 25 FPS input, so which is HD input. So similarly, you can see, on across all the ports, what is the input coming in. So this is about the input, how we select the SDI. Since it is a SDI input, we also need to define the audio channels on the input side. So for example, if the PCM audio is coming in, and if not PCM, if any other format of the audio is coming in, you just need to select respectively. So we just, for showing you, I'm just selecting PCM Studio, and then maybe group 1, channel 1. And so basically I selected pair 1, and that's all on the input side. If you have multiple, even more audios, you just need to keep adding it like this. Okay, add audio channel. If you have only single audio, then leave it with one. So this is about the input tab. So one tab configuration we have finished. Now we'll go to the second. Sorry. So to go to start with the second configuration, second tab configuration, there is some predefined templates in the encoder. So for example, our use case is to have the TS output. So you just select TS, and for example, we are going to have DVB H264 HD 1080i output. So since it is HD input and you want to have the HD output as well, so you just select one of the custom template, template, predefined template. It will automatically upload this basic configuration. Now you can have your changes as per your requirement, as per the bitrate you require, as per the resolution. If you want to change the audio configuration, if you want to change, you can just change it now. So now in the tracks, you'll go to, so this is the video track configuration. This is the audio track configuration. And if you have any data track like subtitle or closed caption, you can configure your data track as well. So we'll go to the video track. So in the video track, you have your codec, which codec you want to take out from the encoder, MPEG-2, MPEG-4, HEVC, and multiple ones. So let's say our use cases with MPEG-4. We will select the frame size, the resolution. So it's 1080. If you want to customize your, or if you want to put some specific frame size, we can custom it. Otherwise, we'll go with 1080. The aspect ratio configuration, frame rates, and the bitrate. So bitrate, this one is basically for CBR configuration. It is not for VBR. So if you are going to configure your service as CBR, you need to define your bitrate in this section. Otherwise, for VBR, I will show you where we need to configure. So yeah, then normal encoding parameters we have here, like GOP size, frame type, interlace or progressive, field order, encoding mode. And if you have some specific configuration for MPEG-4 profile and levels, we can do that. Okay, then if you want to have your logo insertions, so you have this option here. You just need to enable one. You need to select your logo from the list. I will show you where we upload the logo in the server. So you just select your logo and define your position of the logo, and then you can apply it. I'll disable it for now. So this is how we configure our video track. Similarly, if we need to, one more thing I just want to show you. So where we define our video PID. So in the video track, you can see there is an option common video parameters, right? So you just go to common video parameters, and here you have a PID option. So this is basically to define your video PID for the output. You can define that. If you don't define, it will take the default one. And you can even follow the input PID from the input. Okay, and then this is regarding the aspect ratio. If you want to play around with aspect ratios, those things. These are the main things which we need to take care for, or when we are configuring a new service. So one thing is to define your video PID, if we need to define in the common video parameters, and other things are in the track We'll go into the track and define our codec, resolution, aspect ratio, bitrate for CBR, GOP size, and that's all. So this is about the video track configuration. We'll go to the audio track now. So similarly, we have common audio parameters in the audio track. So where we define our audio PID here, and if you want to follow the audio PID from the input, we can select this. We can even pass through it, or if you want to, upscale or downscale your audio from Dolby to PCM, MP1 layer 2, or from, upscale your audio to Dolby. So those things we can do here. We can just select our audio codec. Okay. Then we can have our ISO 639 language descriptor, whichever language we want to have it on the output. And also we have one option here as ALC, audio loudness control, where we can, um, basically fix our audio level for all the services. So this configuration which we are doing, this is respective to each service. Okay. So if you apply the audio level control here, it will only be applicable for this service, not for all the service. So we need to define this particular thing on each service. So we can, yes, so we can have the same level of audio control or audio level in the network when it goes out on the customer side. So this is something basically which we do in the common audio parameters. So main things are basically to define your audio PID, to select your codec, that you can do in the track as well, and ALC. That's it. Then we'll go to the track configuration. Here you can have your sample rate and bitrate for the audio. You can define that. Okay, that's all in the for the audio configuration. Now, if we come to data track configuration, you can have your data PID for the output. We can have the multiple data types. There are a lot of that. If you want to have it as subtitle, you can go with subtitle. If you want to have closed caption, if you are having your SCSI 104 coming in or 35 coming in on the input, we can have it on output. We can just do a SCSI 35 pass through. And if you are having SCSI 104 on SDI, so we can do 104 to 35 conversion as well for add insertions. Okay. So these are the configuration basically required for data tracks, depending on the type of data we are selecting. So this is about the second tab configuration. So in the first tab configuration, what we did, we just defined our type of input. We selected the input interface. If it is SDI, then we selected or we added the audio for input. On the track side, second tab, we just selected our predefined, template, and then we did our required configuration related to audio and video and data. Now the third tab is Muxer. So in the Muxer, basically we combine our video and audio and data track. Okay. So how we do that? So as you can see, there is one video we have configured. So it is showing one video. So let's say we have two audios configured. So what we need to do, let me just show you second audio once. So now what I did, I just added two audios. Okay. Mapping from the same input. So if we need to map these two audio with one video, how we do that? In the Muxer, we'll go here, and as you can see, the drop down list, now we have two audios, right? 0.0 and 1.0. So we'll just add with this plus sign. So one video is now going to have two audios, which we created in the tracks. And of course, the third one is subtitle. If we have data track, then we can configure it. Otherwise, it will be black. We can delete the track from the tracks if we don't need subtitle. Other than this, if we want to have multiple, platforms to serve our output, for example, for the same input, if you want to take the RTMP output, so you can just select the RTMP as well here. If you want to have your HLS output as well, so we can take all the, or we can serve different platforms, from the same input, whether it is TS output, if you want to have RTMP output to publish on, let's say, YouTube or some other environments, which can receive RTMP. So we can also have RTMP simultaneously. We can also have HLS simultaneously, as well as lots of mux are available in the system. So we can serve different platforms. Okay. So for now, I deleted. Yeah. So another, this is one working one requirement of the Muxer. Another part of the Muxer configuration, in case of VBR configuration, we need Muxer tab. So in the VBR configuration, what we do, we go to the Muxer after adding or mapping our audio with videos and data tracks. What we do, we can see here there is an option to enable VBR, right? So we'll just enable it, and we need to define our statmux pool. So now where we define this statmux pool, let me just show you that. So in the network management, we go down. So here we have in the bottom, there is an option of statmux pool configuration. Okay, so where we, let's say, I'll show you one. So we just click on add, we will define our test, we'll define a multicast. So this multicast is going to be for StatMux communication only between encoder and mux. There is nothing to do with the audio and video traveling on this multicast. Okay, so this multicast is only traveling between encoder and mux, just for the StatMux metadata communication. Okay, so there is no audio video will travel on this. So you will just define one multicast here, and the same multicast will be defined in the mux also as a receiving. Okay. So then you will define your UDP port. You will define that from which interface you want to make the StatMux communication with the mux. Okay. So then we'll go back again. So as you can see here, we have defined two StatMux pool configurations, Arab pool 1 and Arab pool 2. Yeah. So when we enable the VBI StatMux here, we'll keep the automatic channel ID, and here we select the pool. So you in which pool you want to have your this service to be in. So you will just select that pool from here, and then there are two bitrate values you need to define here. What are the difference in these two bitrate values is basically this is your default TS bitrate. So let's say if your StatMux is disconnected with the mux, so your service will still be running on the bitrate which you have defined here in this value. Okay, this will always be the service will always be running at least on this bitrate even after the StatMux is disconnected. And then your TS bitrate is your maximum bitrate of the service which you are defining. So let's say so this is the configuration which you need to do for VBR, for enabling the VBR. So we'll enable the VBR StatMux, we'll keep the channel ID checked, we'll select the StatMux pool where the service need to be in, and then we'll define the default bitrate and the maximum bitrate of the TS. Okay. Other than this, in the DBB setting, you need to define service name here. So this is the place where you need to define your service name, because this name will be shown in your SDT. When mux will receive the service, whatever you have defined here, you will see there in the mux input. Okay. So let's say test. Then rest of the things you can leave it. Need to touch anything here. If you want to define your network name and service provider, you can define that as well. That's fine. Into the show TS Muxer parameter, here you are going to define your service ID, PMT, and PCR. Obviously, it is going to be auto. So main thing is basically your service ID and PMT. Okay, rest of the things you have no need to change. So yeah, as a again recap of the third tab, which is a Muxer tab. So there are two main things which we need to do in the Muxer tab. One thing is to map your tracks with audio, video, and subtitle or data track. Second thing is to enable your VBR. So we enable the VBR StatMux option, keep the channel ID on, select the pool, define the bit rates, and then you define your SDT name, service name, and also you define your service ID and PMT. These things you need to do in the Muxer. Once this is done, just click on check, and then the final tab is your output tab, where you need to define your multicast output. You'll enable it, and you need to define your UDP multicast here. So 239, let's say. I'm just putting some random. Let's put it on this. So if you have two outputs, so you have one main output and one backup output. So you will just, click on this plus sign in the output. It will create the backup output as well. So here you can have your backup configured on the backup interface. So the main output is going through the ENS, which one? ENS 1F0 data main switch, and second backup is going to ENS 1F1 data backup switch. Okay. So these are the interface name which we have defined in the network setting. Once it is done, we are good, and we'll just apply here. And this is the name which is only used, to see the thumbnail. So whatever the name you are seeing on the thumbnail, you have defined it here. This has nothing to do with your SDT. So SDT name will only be in the Muxer setting. So this is just the monitoring name. And then we'll apply. So we see there is a test service created here. You can also search your service name just by typing here test. Okay. Because I think right now the backup server is the main server because it has switched. Let's do it. So this is one thing to create the service. Another way to create the service is, again, we'll go to the new service. Okay. And now what we will do, since we have created one service already manually as per our requirement, so there is no need to create every time from scratch. Okay. There is a short way to, create rest of the other services. How we do that? For example, Palestine HD is the first service which we created on the encoder. Rest of the services, how we can quickly do is just clone it. So we'll click on the clone. We'll say yes. Okay. And what only things we need to change is basically that input. For sure, the second service will have the different input. So we'll change the input, and we'll change the name of the service for second service which we are creating. And if you have any need to change the bitrate, then you change. Otherwise, if you need to change only PID, the output PID, you just change the output PID here. Okay, we'll go to Muxer. You change your service name here in the DBB setting. So let's put test, and you need to change your program number. Just change your video feed if you want to. So we have changed the name. If you need to change your pool for the service, you can change. Otherwise, no need. And then you go to the output directly, to change the multicast. Otherwise, it will conflict. Okay, so again, quick recap of this second method. So we already have a service configured in our system now as per our requirement. So we need to create a second service or third or n number of service now further of the same configuration which we have created as a first service. So what we will do, we'll click on the new service, we'll clone that particular service. Okay. After cloning it, we need to change only few things. That input interface on the input tab. In the tracks, we will need to change the video pad and audio pad. In the Muxer, we only need to change our service name, our service ID, and the PMT pad. And on the output, we only need to change our multicast. And that's it. So we'll just click on save, duplicate. Okay, so we have the service here. Okay, so test service is created. We should be able to see now on backup encoder as well. For now, the backup is your encoder A. So let's search on encoder A as well if we have the service. Yes, we do have. So now the service is created on the encoder. We understood how to create the service from scratch. And once we have created the service from scratch, how we can create quickly the services, rest of the services basically based on that service. So this is something. Okay, then now you can see on the thumbnail there are few shortcuts. If you need to start and stop the service, there is option, to play or to stop the service. And show you here. If you need to edit any particular configuration, you just need to click on the edit and you can do any change if you want to do. Okay, if you need to export the service configuration, specific service configuration, if you want to export, you just click on this and you will export the configuration. You can give the name, just the service name, and it will be exported. Later on, you can import it from the import option. You can delete the service as well from here. It will ask for the confirmation. Okay. And there is a one option is called blackout B. So basically blackout option, this is the manual blackout option. If you don't want to go on here with some of the input coming in with the live input, so what you can do, you can just configure a image slate in the configuration, and then you can just click on the blackout. So your live input will be stopped and your image slate will go on here instead of your live input. So where you can configure that, basically go to the global configuration, go down, and here you have a blackout parameters. So you can have a blackout logo, whichever you want to select. You can even upload many logos, many images in the system. So you will just select these respective one and apply it. Okay. After applying it, when you start your service, you can see your blackout option will be enabled like this, and I'll show you. Okay, so right now this service is going on here with this content, right? So if I don't want this content to go on here, I'll just say, okay, black out this particular content, and this content will be switched with the respective configured image. Okay. And if you want to undo the blackout, just click on it. That's all. For now, I'll keep the services stopped. Okay. So, so now what we understood how to create the services with both the ways, right? And what are the shortcuts we have on the thumbnail? What are the options or how we can see the details in the list view of the service, right? So these things we have already seen now. If you have any question, please feel free to interrupt me in between. Now we'll see on the alarms. There is another tab over here, which is called alarm. So we can see here alarms, and we can even filter the alarms in very detailed manner. So we can, just select the level of the alarm. So for example, there is a warning alarm we want to search. So we'll just select the warning. You will type the service name. Let's go with the MAN TV. Okay. So I'll select the MAN. And what I'm trying to say here now, okay, let's search warning level alarm on service MAN TV, and that what kind of alarm you are trying to search, whatever the issue maybe at that time came, that. So let's say there was a audio loss, okay, or maybe audio signal silent, right? So I'll just select this one, and it will only give you those alarms related to the audio signal silent on MAN service, which is warning alarm. Okay. If the status is opened, if there is any status opened only for this particular service, this type of alarm, it will show you here, otherwise it won't. Otherwise you can select all. You can see at what time these alarms came on this service, when it got cleared, all those things. So you can do a good filtration actually in the alarm section. Okay. Otherwise, one more thing you can do here, you can also clear your non-open alarms. Okay, you can just click here. So right now there is no alarm, so it cleared all. Otherwise, what it could have done, if there is, for example, 2 or 3 alarms still open, so it will keep only those 2, 3 alarms here. Rest of the alarms it will clear with this option. And clear all alarms means it will clear all alarms, whether it is open or not open, doesn't matter. So this is about alarms. Then in the support is basically there is very useful option here we have is diagnose package, debug package. Basically, if there is any issue comes in on the system and you are raising a ticket with us, so it's always better to generate create that ticket and along with the debug package. So you just generate the debug package like this. Click on this, so it will start generating the package. Wait for a few seconds. Okay, it is generated now. You can see the time when you generated the debug package, today's date and current time. So then you just need to, download it. You can just download. Once it is downloaded, you can send it to us or Danish team. So we can have a look what was the issue at that time in that debug package. This is one thing. Then in the system, there are multiple things. Basically, you can have the system information. What is the current time, what is the version of the encoder, how many boards you have, what is the CPU usage. So those things you can have. On the right side, you can have your hardware monitoring, your PSU status, the temperature of the unit, the fans, these things you can have. Then in the system management, basically you can have your NTP, your time configuration. Okay. System update, it is used to upgrade the systems, upgrade the versions. In the license management, we can have the license details, what are the licenses there, what are the quantities. As you can see here, it's 9 by 15, right? And for example, if you are seeing here 15 by 15, so all 15 are unused out of 15. 9 by 15 means 9 are unused out of 15. So this is what it means. If it becomes 0, so all used. 0 by 15 means all used. Then network management, you can have your interface IP configurations. You can provide your logical names. These are the logical names which you can provide. Then below you can have your gateway routes configuration, DNS configuration, StatMux pool configurations, these things. This is alarm management. You can customize your alarm template. For example, if you don't want your audio signal missing alarm as warning, if you want it to be critical alarm for you, you can just customize it. You can define your timeout as that after this much millisecond, you should see the alarm. It should give the alarm to you. So you can have all those customization from here. Then if you have a logging system somewhere, we can configure that here. You can change the passwords for each user from here. You know, and this is hardware monitoring, which you have seen on the system information page. So these things, then yeah, majorly these are the important things which you should see. So yeah, this is about Titan Live. There is any question, any concern, if you want to ask something, you can ask, or else I will move to Titan Mux.
No, thank you, Angaro.
Okay, mate. Okay, clear. So let's move to the Titan Mux now. Mm, Okay, so we'll go to the login page again on Titan Mux. So same like Titan Live, here also we have 3 users with similar kind of rights. So you can have different passwords for them as well here. So I'll go again with the administrator user. So here we have tabs, as you can see here: input tab, then output, then StatMux, scrambling, alarm, and systems. So they are actually in sequence. So when you receive, first you need to configure your input. Once your input is configured, you need to create a output TS, and you need to pass your inputs to your output TS. Once your output TS is ready, you need to define your StatMux pool for that particular respective output TS. And if you have any scrambling to be done, then later on we can do the scrambling. So they are actually in sequence. The first step to create your input, then to create your output, then to create your stat mask. Okay, so I'll show you how we have created the inputs here. So if you go in one of the service, so as you can see, there's already one service created. The service name is coming here as Palestine HD because we have defined in the Muxer in the service name. So that service name is visible to Mux on this place. Okay. On the right side, you can see how much bitrate you are getting from the input. Okay. And if you click on monitoring, so you can see what is the complete input TS information you can see here. So there is one service which is having this NIT paid, SDT paid, this is the video, H264 video is coming in with this much bitrate, it is coming, this much null packet is there. All this information you can see. Okay. So now just quickly, let's configure one input which we have created there. Service name, let's give test. We'll keep the redundancy. So there will be two interfaces which are going to receive this input. And if there is any issue on the main interface, it will automatically switch to the backup. This is our use case to configure right now. So we'll keep the type, that is why failover active. Okay. Then our multicast was 239.100.100.100. 222. Then this is our main port, so we'll keep the main. Then we'll go here, put the multicast for backup as well. Okay. So these all are the configuration which is needed to create any input. Once that is done, just apply. So right now you are seeing it as red because we have not enabled the service on the encoder. So we need to enable this. Let's enable it. Now we should see the input here. Okay. So you can see there is no red on primary and secondary. All looks good. Click on the service. We can see the SDT name test, which we have obviously defined in the encoder configuration in the SDT, and 6.4 bit rate. And the secondary input is ready, always ready, since we have configured failover active. So it is active. Right now, active source is main one. So it's fine then. Looks good. So we have created the input. Now we need to create the output since we already have the outputs configured here. I'll just show you how we add the service in the output. I'm not going to actually add because I think your system is live. I'm not sure. Danish?
No, it's not live, but you can add here. You can add, but it's small available bandwidth.
Okay.
Or you can create a separate TS to just show.
Oh, that's fine then. So we'll go to the new output now. Okay, so first we created the output, I mean input, and then we clicked on the output to create the new output. We'll click on here. Let's say test TS. We'll define our put TS bitrate. So let's put just 10 Mbps. Okay. If you have your specific network ID to configure, you define your network ID here. Sorry. Then clock reference on auto PCR, PCR reference pass through. You'll define your output multicast IP for the MPTS. So say and we are taking this output, let's say from me. Not sure if we have configured backup as well. Or you have both. Okay. So we'll define the redundancy here as failover passive automatic. And then you will select your backup interface. Okay, and then you will save it. If you have any ASI port in the network, then you can add it. If not, then it's fine. Just keep with the IP output. Rest of the things, no need to perform any configuration change. These are the main things which you need to do. So now your TS is created, right? So you just click here and go to the edit program. So now you have your all the inputs here which you have created in the input tab, right? So you know which service you need to add in the new output which you have created. You just need to type that particular service name. So for us it is test. So I'll just click here and take. So yeah, It is already now in the output. So we will save this. It is green. It's running. You can see the use bit rate out of 10 Mbps. Now it is 2.84 Mbps, which means TS is added. And go to the output to check it. How you can check? Just click here. So you can see the test service is here, right? Output TS we are keeping it stopped since we have no need to, enable it unnecessarily. Otherwise, now how you can check further more details of this TS, you just go to the monitoring. So in the monitoring, you will see all the number of services which you want to add or you have already added in the TS. So you will see all that list here in the programs. So for this testing purpose or training purpose, we have added only test service. So that's why you are seeing only this service we have just added. You can see all the details. The null packet of the whole TS is right now 7 Mbps, since the test service is only taking 2.81 Mbps, right? Why it is taking 2.81 or around 3 Mbps? Because of the StatMux disconnection. Right now, StatMux is not connected on this service, right? So that is why it is taking the default TS bitrate, which we defined in the VBR settings of encoder. Okay. So now what we will do, so output is ready. We now know how to check the output, how to monitor the service, how to add the service, right? And if you have your some PSSI configuration you need to do, if your input, if you have some third-party PSSI systems or services coming in, so what you need to do, you just need to go to the edit SI, and then here you can edit your PSSI inputs. Now we'll go to the, so we have created the input, we have added that input into the output TS. Now what we need to do, we need to enable the StatMux for the service. So I'll just show you, there will be an alarm on the service right now as StatMux disconnected. It says StatMux Arabsat pool 2 is disconnected, which is correct alarm because we have not configured the StatMux for this service right now. So I'm going back on the marks. So our service is added in the Arabsat pool 2. I think it is this one. Yeah, Arabsat pool 2. So what we will do? So now we are seeing the output TS here. All the output is TS which we have created till now. So for us, we have created this one. So it has one service. Okay, test service. What we will do? We will just drag and drop this service into this particular pool. Mhm. Okay, let's keep a separate pool for now. Go here, create a new pool. Let's test pool. Define the multicast address, which we have defined in the pool configuration of the encoder, the test pool. This one. This one. Create. Okay. So now it is added here. If we need to define some, minimum and maximum bitrate, we can define it here by doing added encoder. You just need to click on the particular service name in the pool and you click on edit encoder. You can enable your minimum and maximum bitrate and you can define the bitrate here. First, we will go on to the encoder and check whether the StatMux disconnection alarm is now cleared or not. So go here, go here. So yes, the thumbnail is with the green color, which means there is no StatMux alarm or nothing. You can still check in the alarms. So it says StatMux DS pool is connected. So yes, our StatMux is working now. We can go here in the monitoring, we can check. So yes, all good. So now we understood how we need to, process a service on the MUX, starting by adding the input, then passing it on to the output, and then creating the StatMux or VBR for that particular service. So this is the way we create the service on encoder, then how we pass it on the MUX. If we have scrambling, then we can, perform the scrambling by adding cache, IPs and everything later on. For now, this is not in our use case, but yeah, we can do that. Then we have the alarms. So in the alarm section, you can have your active alarms. You can see your alarm history. Okay, you can export it as well. So you can see here. Then in the systems, you can, since there is no ASI, I think, yeah. Okay, there is ASI board as well. So you can define your ASI ports. Each port you can define which port you want to have it as input. If you want to have any port as output, you can define that in the configuration here. Okay. Then in the network, same way you can have your IP configurations on each interface, your logical name. You can have your routes, gateways, these things. And in the alarm management, again, you can have your customized template for the alarm. You can have the system information in the system information tab, your CPU, your MUX version, your hardware monitoring, and below to this, you have the debug package generation option. So similar way, you just need to create, you need to click on debug generate package, and it will start generating as status as generating. Wait for a few seconds. Okay, so it is generated debug package.zip. You will just click here and you will have your debug package for the MUX like this. Then you have reboot option as well. It's the kind of a soft reboot option you can have here on the system information. Please make sure, we don't touch this. And then the system management, you have your time configurations, you have your license related information. And if you need to export your configuration, you just need to just check, better to check all these checkbox and then you export it. Just click like this, then just export it. Similar way, once you have your exported configuration, if you need to import sometime later on, so you just need to click on the import configuration and select that particular configuration file. Then yeah, system update option is to upgrade your Titan Mux software, logging related, hardware related information, and then you can have your password changes here. So this is about the Mux. I hope it is clear. If you have any question, please feel free to ask, or we can move to Pilot Manager then.
No, thank you. Go on,
Okay,
please.
sure. Okay, so we'll go to the Pilot Manager now. So this is your actually Pilot Manager URL. Okay. So once you will open this URL, you will be redirected to this interface, and here you can see there's a matrix sign. You just need to click on that and select the Pilot Manager. So once you select the Pilot Manager, you will have your Pilot Manager UI here, and you can see the instances box where you can see there are 2 Titan lives added and 1 redundancy group for Titan live, which is 1+1. Then you have Titan Mux. 2 number of Titan Mux are added in the server in the Pilot Manager with 1 redundancy group, and we have 3 Cisco switches, 2 data switch, 1 management switch. We have some, quick glance of the alarms. So there are few active alarms, there are few major alarms. So you can see it here. If you click on this particular alarm page, it will redirect you to the alarm. Okay. So here you can see if there you need to see the active alarm, you just need to click on the active alarms here. So you'll be able to see what all are the active alarms you have on the system and on which equipment, on Titan Live or on encoder or Mux, wherever. So we'll go to the instances. So when you click on alarm page, alarm box, it will take you to the alarm page. Similarly, now if you will click onto the instance box, so it will take you to the instance pages. How many instances you have added? So we can see here we have 2 Titan Live encoder A, TL encoder B. Then we have 2 MUX, TM MUX A, TM MUX B, and we have 3 Cisco switches: Cisco data switch main, Cisco data backup switch, and Cisco management switch. We have the management IPs of each element here, right? We have the version, the current running versions of each element, the CPU load, the memory load, their respective redundancy group name, who is primary, who is backup. It will show you here. Okay. From here, if you want to go directly to the UI, you can just click on, let's say here, just click on this box. It will directly redirect to you to that particular user interface of the encoder, or on the MUX. If you will click on MUX, it will redirect you to MUX interface. So if you will click on the Cisco switch, sign, it will take you to the Cisco related interface related information. So which interface is with the which VLAN, what is the bandwidth, what is the MTU, what is the MAC address, and all those things. So what what you can do from here, if you need to change the VLAN of any interface, you can just add it and change the VLAN from Pilot Manager UI itself. No need to go into the switch. If you want to see the VLANs, what all VLANs are configured in the switch, you can just see here. And other than this, you have hardware related information of the switch. This is about Cisco switch. Then below we have instance redundancy. So we have created two redundancy groups, one RGTL, which is for Titan Live in 1+1 mode. If you click here, so you can see there is one primary instance called TLENCA, one backup instance called TLENCB, right? And the redundancy mode is auto switch back on backup failure. So if the backup will be failed, then it will be automatically switched to main, right? Otherwise, we have two other options. One is completely manual switching. You need to intervene for any switching from main to backup or backup to main manually. In the manual switchback, what will happen if there is any issue comes in on the, if you are running on main encoder, and if there is any issue comes on the main encoder, it will automatically switch on to the backup. But from backup to main, it won't switch automatically. You need to manually switch. So this is called manual switchback. And auto switchback on backup failure, as I told you, if it sees that backup is failed, then only it will switch to the main. Okay. Otherwise, from main to backup, it will automatically switch. So this is about Titan Live redundancy, and in Titan Mux. So it is also on auto switchback on backup failure. And since it is 1+1 as well, so both the Titan Mux are giving their output always. Okay. It's just your stat mux feature gets switched from main to backup or backup to main. So this is just for this actually performs the stat mux switching, because StatMux can be connected one at a time with a one mux at a time. So that is why. So this is one thing. Cisco switch details we have already seen. Other than this, you go to these services. So whatever number of services you have added on the encoders, you will be able to see all here. So total number of services right now is showing 24. Status, all services running. Right? If you click here on one of the service, so you will be able to see the thumbnail as well of the service within few seconds. It will come here. And it will show you the details of the input. This service is running from which input, which SDI interface, which SDI board, what are the output. So if you just keep your cursor on the output, it will show you from which Titan Live interface you are taking output and what is the multicast. This is something which you can see. Other than this, you have card view as well, where you can have the thumbnail monitoring of each service of all the encoders. Okay, just go down and you can have that monitoring here. Then you have a graphical view. So in graphical view, you can see your Titan Live A, Titan Live B, they are connected. So each interface, so two Titan Lives and two Titan Mux, both, all four are connected with the Cisco management switch. So as you can see this connectivity, and each Titan Live is connected with the, so basically there are two outputs of Titan Live, right? So one output is going to the main data switch, one output is going to the backup data switch. Similarly with Titan Live backup, main data switch, main output, backup data switch, backup output. Now coming with Titan Mux, so Titan Mux main is connected with the main data switch as well as backup data switch, and similarly with Titan Mux backup. One thing which you can do from here as well, you can have your switching perform from this interface also. So you just need to click here and you can have this option switch to backup, but right now this is already running on backup, so that is why you are not able to see that option enabled. But on the backup backup encoder, you will be able to see switch back to primary, right? So if you will click on this, your encoder will be switched to the TLENCA. And how you can see which encoder is live from this interface is basically this checkbox. Okay, so if this checkbox is green, which means this encoder is live. And then alarms we have already discussed. So we can see the active alarms here. We can see the masked alarms here. We can also do the alarm configurations. You can, if we have some specific alarm configuration we want to put, we can do it here. And then oh yeah, I would like to show you one more thing, how we add the element actually here. So to add any new element, you just need to click on the add. You need to define your name of the element. If it is Titan Live, you can define, let's say, TL. If it is Titan Mux, you can define TM, whichever name you want. So test, and you need to select the type of element you are going to add, whether it is Titan Live, whether it is Titan Mux, or if you are using some third party, for example, Cisco switch, if you want to add, if you are using GV router, Imagine router, something like that. So you can just select it from here. And then, so for example, it is Titan Live, you need to define your management IP here. You need to define your API username and password, and you will submit it. So once you submit, then you will be able to see here in this list. So here anything else? So if you need to, yeah, take the configuration backup of Pilot Manager, you just need to go to the journal, and then you can, create your application backup. And similarly, you can restore the application backup from the backup file here. Okay, this is just license server. So yeah, these are the actually the things which is necessary, as operational use for Pilot Manager. So if there is any other question, any query, we can have these discussed. This is all otherwise from my side.
Hello.
Yes, mate.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time and your efforts. You did really very great. Just one question, if you may, back to the pilot server.
Yeah.
We have a green tick over the management Cisco switch, while the other data switches look orange, like standby or
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
show
Mamun, you
the map.
remember you need to disable some ports, I think.
This is because we have still open alarms. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
you
Yeah.
see.
see these VLANs. I told you
Uh,
So
that day.
so it is showing you the probable cause is because link down. So because of the link down, it is just alarming us that you have this alarm,
so this is for the alarm, and not for which is on air and which is backup
N-
right now.
No, no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, no.
Got it, got it. I think we are okay. No questions so far.
So
Danish, we need to try by ourselves. As we agreed before, you will save all the configuration you did over the servers and the pilot, the live, the max. Then
Mm.
we will try by ourselves, adding or removing the services, let's say. If we have anything later, maybe we have a question by practical trying, let's say, or by enabling or disabling the services. We will back to you. But so
for sure,
far,
for
I think it's clear we need to try ourselves
okay.
later.
Just
Okay.
one doubt I just want to clear for you. Uh, as you can see here, there is a green arrow, right? Forward arrow, which means that this mux is live without any error. Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I understood why you asked that question. So this green means there is no alarm. On the left side, it means that there is no alarm here. Okay. But if you see on the encoder side, there is one encoder which is, having this forward arrow with green and one with cross, right? So it means that the encoder A is right now live without any error, and encoder B is the backup encoder. It's not on here. That's why it is crossed.
Yeah, very, very clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
So I will
so
share the recording as well.
Oh,
yeah,
the recording, you will send it via, let's say, FileZilla or some
Uh,
FTP website. If the file is bigger than the upload limit, we can provide you with the IP port, username, password of FTP server, so you can upload it from your side if you may.
I will
yeah,
do it. I
sure.
will do it, Mamun, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, I will just we will just remove these services, the one we